So that new hospital is probably going to be one of the largest investment in Region 9. And the reason why I say it's going to be one of the largest investment is that we'll be spending close to 6 billion Guyana dollars in building that hospital. And when it's completed, in 24 months from now, when it's completed, what you'll have there is a hospital with 75 inpatient beds. You would have X-ray facilities. You will have CT scan. You will have emergency services, new labs, and a whole host of other features. So our intention is that once the hospital is completed, we can all the surgeries, everything that you need in terms of health, you'll be able to do all of that in this region. And while we would be building the hospital, one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that we can have people from the region where we can staff the hospital, among others, because we're building quite a number of facilities. So we're looking for persons who are interested in becoming nurses. We're looking for who are interested in becoming pharmacists and all these different health professionals or professions that we have. We are looking for people to train them. And if we have persons who are interested, then the training is not going to be in Georgetown. More than likely, we'll take you up to Lethem, and you'll be trained right in the region. And then some of the persons trained can come back and work in the region, work here in Karasabai, or can work at Lethem or other areas in the region. We have started a program for CHWs, that's community health workers. And so far, we have trained 169 persons in Region 9. And once they completed their training, they have a job with the Ministry of Health. And so we have been working to get a lot more people to come on board in these programs. So for your region, if you have young people who are interested in working in the area of health, whether in nursing or other fields, we would really like to meet with them and work with them to see how we can get them in our program. The requirements for such a program is you have to have 5 subjects CXC, but if you don't have the 5 subjects, then we'll work with you to see how we can bring you in and teach you math and English, because these are requirements, but we want to make sure that people can be trained and working system. So do you have young people here who might be interested in doing nursing? Man, I ain't hearing y'all. Now I hear y'all. So we're going to work with you and make sure that we can find those young people. If you tell us, then we'll be able to do that. We also have some other programs that we have been rolling out in the ministry. And on behalf of the government, we have been doing that. So one such program has been the program where we want to test young people's eyes. Anybody come here and check your eyes? Huh? About 10? Huh? Well, not often. Well, we got a program right now where we want to check everybody's eyes. And if you need a spectacle, then we'll be able to give you a voucher to get the spectacle. So you'll get a voucher for 15,000 Guyana dollars, and that would help you to get the spectacle. So you didn't have that program here? You had that already. And everybody eyes get checked? Huh? Okay. Okay. We are? I think so. Huh? So we had, as she was saying, we had some people who come here to do the eye testing, but maybe they didn't spend too long. So one of the things that we can do is to make sure that they come back, because we want to make sure that people utilize these facilities. And when we test people's eyes, if they need the spectacles, we'll give them the money so that they can get the spectacles. But for the older people, one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that when we check your eyes, if you have anything like cataract and so forth, that we'll put you on a list and we'll make sure that we can operate on the cataract so that you can get back your sight. And again, that's something that we want to work with you on to make sure that we help the older folks so that they can see properly. We also have another program that we've been working on in the ministry, and this, while we do it especially for older people, I've seen that some young people also have difficulty, and that is to make sure that we check people's ears to see whether they hear properly. But I think there's a problem here, right? Everybody hear good? Huh? So one of the things we want to do is to make sure we check, and again, if they got a few people who got problems, then the government would make sure that you get a hearing aid so that you can hear properly. So these are programs that the ministry has been running, and we have been getting the people here in Region 9 to roll out these programs. But at the hospital here, one of the things that we want to do is to we add an operating theater to this hospital. And the reason why we want to do that, because when people get sick, very often we have to fly them out or take them to Latam or carry them to Georgetown. What we want to do is to capacity here, where we would be able to do the surgeries right here in Karasabai. And so it started a project, and the theater is near completion. And once that is completed, we'll make sure to have all the equipment and so forth. We can start doing medical operations here. We'll be able to bring in teams of surgeons. And so rather than you have to go somewhere else and your family and see you, we'll be able now to make sure surgeons come here, they operate, and then would get your operation back to the hospital. So we are hoping that very soon we'll be able to start that. And so while right now we are finishing off the theater and all the other rooms around the theater so that we can make that possible. So the government, over the last couple of years, we have been making significant improvement in health in this region. And when you compare what we would have inherited in 2020, for example, to where we are now, you can see the difference in how we are implementing different programs and what we are doing for our communities. And you can basically see that there's a big difference between what happened before and what we have right now. A good example of that is that among women in Guyana, one of the biggest problems that we have is cancers. And for most women, if they get cancer, it's like a death sentence. We want to change that. And there are two cancers that are affecting women across our country. One is called breast cancer, and the other one is cervical cancer. With breast cancer, one of the things that we'll be doing at Letem Hospital, because if you whether you're getting breast cancer, apart from maybe feeling the breast to see whether you have some lumps, you also have to make sure that you get what is called a mammogram. That is, you take out an x-ray of the breast. But right now at the hospital in Letem, we don't have that type of equipment. But by the end of the year, we would install that equipment so that women who need to get these types of x-rays can go to Letem and they'll be able to get this specialized type of x-rays to see whether or not they're developing breast cancer. So that is something that is going to be new in the region, and when that becomes operational, we'll be able to check women to make sure that they don't get breast cancer. Because if we check it early and we catch it early, we can prevent it from happening, rather than wait until it's too late and then you got a problem. Right? So this is be another service that we'll be offering in the region. One of the things that we know to prevent cervical cancer is that we can give a vaccine. And once you take the vaccine, it will prevent the cancer from developing. We have those vaccines available, and we have been working to make sure that in every community across this country that we implement this vaccination program. The vaccine is called HPV. That's the human papilloma vaccine. And again, we have introduced it into the region, but in some cases we are seeing in some communities the children have not got the vaccine as yet. So I'm appealing to all the parents who are here, if you want to prevent cervical cancer and other types of cancer among your children, then please ensure that you bring them to the health center so that we can give them this HPV vaccine. Is that something that we can do? You don't think it's a good thing? So we have a program where children between the ages of 9 to 15 can get this vaccine. So for both boys and girls, right? So please, if your child did not get the vaccine as yet, please make sure that you bring them to the hospital here so that the healthcare workers can give them the vaccine. Is that an agreement we can have? Is that something we can do? Good. Now, in terms of women, because since we're only giving it to up to 15 years, we also decided that we want to extend this to women 16 years up to 45 years of age, right? So anybody between 16 and 45, we are now going to give you the vaccine as well. Because in studies that we did, we recognize that if you take the vaccine, you can prevent the cancer from occurring. And now this is now available to people. So I hope that in the community, you can talk to people and make sure that they get this vaccine. Right? Is that something we can do? Good. And we also have another thing called an HPV test. So this is something that we want any woman between the ages of 21 to 65 to take the HPV test. And if you take the test, it will tell you whether you are at risk for developing cancer or if you already developed the cancer. Please put your hand together for His Excellency the President. We can offer even more services to you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, for the remarks. We now have the Minister of Education. We now have His Excellency Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Put your hands together as he comes forward.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please have your seats. Please. I was just finding out because we sent a technical team into the area to look at some projects that we want to work with you on. As you know, we have had a long 2 hours in the region, and I want to assure you that my visit today was to examine the progress of the secondary school that we are building, a very modern secondary school that would offer all the facilities that any secondary school in Guyana is offering. And I want you to be assured that we are working every single day to ensure the further improvement of the lives of all the citizens of Region 9. And you can see the development. Can you see the development in Region 9? And we are going to continue to invest in this region to ensure that not only do we bring development to you, but we bring quality development. We bring development that will enable you to live better lives, more productive life. And that is what the People's Progressive Party Civic is about. It's about investing in people. It's about investing in communities. That is why we can proudly say that in this region, we're now building a new hospital that will cost $6.5 billion in LETEM. That will be as good as any hospital in Guyana. We have built nursery schools, primary schools, secondary schools. We have built dorms, we have built community roads, we have built expanded agriculture. We have given you $100,000 per person. Remember? You now have free education. Today you have hundreds of your community workers, hundreds of your children, hundreds of the young people in Region 9 doing nursing, policing. They're in the joint services. They're becoming firemen and women. They're becoming doctors, teachers, because we are investing in the future of these communities. And investing in the future of these communities, we want to ensure that we create new areas of opportunity. So today, I came, as I said, to visit the school. But I wanted, and you know Carl would not allow me to come here, and your community leaders would not allow me to come here and not have a moment with you. So I'm here today to tell you about some additional initiatives. I'm not going to remind you about the $1.4 billion we have spent on your Because We Care grant for your children that was taken away from you. I am not going to remind you about the billions of dollars we're spending in education. I'm not going to remind you about the more than 716 of your young people who are now trained under the TVET program. I'm not going to remind you about all the persons we have rehired under the CSO program. I am not going to remind you about all those things because you're aware of it. Today, though, I want to talk to you about some additional projects and programs we have. Indeed, we also have $2.7 billion that we're investing in water, housing and water in this region. And as we build the new secondary school, that secondary school will have dormitory facility for more than 500 children. It will have teachers' quarters for more than 35 teachers. It will have a modern state-of-the-art labs so your children now can do science subjects, laying the foundation for the next generation of doctors to come right here from Region 9. As it is now, because of the lack of infrastructure, lack of access to lab facilities, you don't have that possibility. But because of this investment by the People's Progressive Party civic government, you now have these possibilities ahead of you. And I want you to stay strong to your conscience. I want you to be committed to your conscience. Because in our country today, there are many who will seek to misguide you. There are many who will seek the same persons who came with tons of promises in 2015 and never kept a single one. They're going to come back. But I hear my friends say they can't come back here. I hope you all send this message loudly, because you cannot be fooled ever again. The people of this country cannot be fooled ever again. And I've sent, where is Colin? Come next to me. I've sent this young man, Colin, to work with Carl and the region on a project. Because the last time I came, you know, we talked about how are we going to improve the road access between Tiger Pond and here, right, Ario? And it's 1.5 kilometers of road. When you look at the roads between the communities and here. So Colin is from Ministry of Public Works, and we have tasked him with a very simple task. That is to work on a design in which we will use the local labor right from this community to build the road that connect Tiger Pond, Karasabai, and the other communities. We have used this same model in Whitewater in Region 1, and they have more than 50 persons from the community who are now specialists in building concrete roads. And we want your young people here to be trained in this also. So before the end of this year, for a matter of fact, before the end of this month, the engineers will complete their design of this road connection, and early in the new month, I will be back with you because I want to come and spend quality time with you. I want to come back in November when we don't have the constraints of getting out before dark. I want to come early in November to spend the day with you, possibly the night. We can break bread together, we can cook together, but more importantly, we will plan the development of this village and the satellite together. And let me say to you that as we come back in November, on this ground that we stand here today, we will be turning the sod for the building of your new nursery school for $35 million. Your new primary school for $35 million. And like the old days, we're going to sit under the mango tree and we're going to talk to each other. By the time I get here, the engineers will complete the design and we will bring the model into place, because what they will do is that they will come in with the technical people in the region. We'll buy the material from the region. We'll get somebody from the region who can supply the concrete, and we're going to train the villagers in building this 1.5 kilometers of roads. And by the time we finish the 1.5 kilometers of roads, we're going to work on what we call the concrete roads within the community. So that within all these communities in Region 9, you've started already, Carl, but within all the communities in Region 9, where the community center is, where the homes are, we want you to enjoy the concrete roads also as we improve your quality of life. But important in this also is the $1.2 billion we have spent on agriculture since we came back in government. Supporting you with seeds, agricultural supplies, supporting you in building back the agricultural sector in this community and Region 9. But we want to go a step further. And I've asked the REO, Carl, to work with our neighbors in Brazil and to see how we can set up a state-of-the-art tunnel house within these communities to supply your chicken needs. A major tunnel house that I want the communities to partner on to build this tunnel house to supply all your meat bird needs here and in Region 9. So that's another major project. One of the major challenges you have in relation to the tunnel birds, one of the major challenges you have is the heat. But these modern facilities allow us to build with the future in mind, take into consideration the environmental issues, the climate issues that you have here, so that we can build a facility and we can build a production system that support economic development and advancement. I'm sure Frank would have talked to you about all that we're doing in healthcare. But I want to assure you, in this very short meeting today, that I'm very pleased I had this opportunity to say hello to you, to tell you about some of the things that we're doing, and to let you know that in the first week here, to spend an entire day with you when we will work together, outline in great clarity the development strategy and development plans of this community, well, this community and the satellite community and the region at large. But I want to assure you that the People's Progressive Party civic government is on your side yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We will always be here beside you, pushing the development. I want to assure you too that in the development plans that we have for this region, not only are we looking at infrastructure, but we are looking at giving your young people immense opportunity to become trained teachers. All the young persons here with the requirement to do teaching, we're going to enter them into the teaching program and train them to become graduate teachers. And today, since we came into government, the stipend that we give teachers who are now doing the training program moved from $10,000 to what? $90,000+. From 900% increase. 900% increase. My dear brothers and sisters, I want you to ensure that the message of development, the consciousness of development is not lost. I want you to stay strong and to help us to ensure that every community is connected with the development, is connected with the advancement, is connected with the reality. And what is that reality? That reality is that all of Guyana is developing equitably. All of Guyana is developing together. And today, there are more opportunities for you and your community than ever before in the history of our country. Isn't that true? So let us continue to work together and let us continue to commit ourselves together as we build a stronger Region 9, a stronger Karasabai, and all the satellite communities that are connected to Karasabai. I thank you and God bless all of you.
All right, so we now have the handing over the vehicles by His Excellency. So handing over of vehicles and ATVs to the respective communities. You can stay right where you are. You will witness from right there the handing over.
To the pensioners, is the people paying the pension in the community? Are they coming here and paying you your pension? No. Yes or yeah? Okay. So, no, all right. Whoever is the staff that is responsible for coming to this community to pay your pension and they're not coming, I'm going to ask that that staff be disciplined or sent home. Because the instruction is very clear. The instruction is that the old age pension must be paid in the villages themselves. The people must be paid. The pensioners don't have to go to Lethem anymore. We have given them all the resources to pay the pension right in the community. So we will hold them responsible. And if this is the case, that they're not coming, then we will have to deal with those persons, okay?
They got paid up to September.
No, but she's saying no. The people are saying no. Huh? Carl, don't do this nonsense here. The people are saying, let me ask you a simple question to the pensioners. Are they paying you the pension in the villages? But Carl, the lady didn't get paid. To show. Are the pensioners getting paid in the villages? No, they're not supposed to come every 3 months. So we will get this fixed. Right? We will get this fixed. Make sure everybody is paid because they come and they go to the people. They come and rush out the village.
All right, so we continue with the program, the handing over of the vehicles, the 3 vehicles for Taushiga, Rukumoto, and Tipuru. We are asking the pushers to be on standby for the villages. They're there. The ATV, Paipang. You can remain right where you are. You can witness the handing over from there.
The instruction is that the old age pension must be paid in the villages themselves. The people must be paid. The pensioners don't have to go to let them anymore. We have given them all the resources to pay the pension right in the community. So we will hold them responsible. And if this is the case, that they're not coming, then we will have to deal with those persons. Okay? Carl, don't do this now.
Rodriguez. From work. I talk to him.
All right, so we
Minister? Where are you? You're right over there. How are you? Give me the